Joe. So today we're going to take a look at DAMTOYS, Cold Dog, Death Gas Station, Homeless Joe. This is their 6th figure from this Death Gas Station line. And this is a homeless robot old man. Yeah, that's about it. Not a whole lot of story for these Death Gas Station figures, but they do come with some comics, so I'll show you guys that in a bit. But that's about it. That's the box, and well, let's just take a look at them. And here's Homeless Joe. Yeah, he's a very cute old man, but he is pretty small. Yeah, he's pretty small. But all Death Gas Station figures are this size. He does match well with the other figures. So with that being said, let's take a closer gander at this very old bot. And here's a closer look at Homeless Joe. And yeah, he is nicely sculpted. The clothes he has on is nicely weathered to an extent. I would like it to be a little more weathered. But overall, he's a pretty interesting looking character from this series. Again, there isn't a lot of lore for these figures, just little tidbits they come with comics, so I can't really tell you what the backstory is for this guy, but he does come with a fuck ton of accessories. So with that being said, let's take a look at them. Stove, backpack, radio, smokestack, log, piece of wood, another piece of wood, lantern, kettle, canteen, frying pan, an axe holster, bottle, a broken bottle, smoke pipe, stick, a sock on a stick, a steak on a stick, a cake on a stick, spoon, hat, speech bubble, smoke effect, hand. So this is the stuff Homeless Joe comes with. For a guy who's homeless, he does come with a lot of shit. So with that being said, let's take a look at his backpack. Overall, I like his backpack, but I don't like the shining straps he does have with him. It kind of ruins his aesthetic a bit. I wish it was a canvas type material, not this shiny pleather material. Kind of looks weird on him. But you can put his accessories or some of what he has here onto his bag, which I'll show you in a bit. But yeah, this is his bag. Next up, we have his hat. Now his hat is a little hard to put on his head because this isn't really stretchy. So you really have to put it onto his head. And I'm scared that over time this might get frayed or get damaged, so I might not put this on his head in my display. Might not, but who knows, maybe I will. Next up we have his canteen, which you basically put around his neck or his shoulder, and you can see all the detail they put in such a tiny thing. I mean, all the effort went into one canteen. It shows the dedication DAMTOYS has with their figures. So yeah, that's his canteen. Next up we have his stove. It's not really a portable stove, it's kind of a huge stove. So I don't know how he travels with this. But you can open it up to put some wood pieces in. So the wood pieces are here. So these are the wood pieces he comes with. Just slot it in there. This one's a charred wood piece, so it's a little burnt. But you can see the detail they have. And it goes in there, like that. And it does have a porthole for this smokestack, which I thought was a very big piece of lumber, but it's actually a metal beaten up pipe for the smokestack. It is magnetized because this needs to hold up the whole tent assembly once you put it on. It holds up a tent, which I'll show you in a bit. And it does have a small slit there, which you could put this smoke effect on. like so. There you go. But I'm scared over time it might droop down like that, so I'm not gonna display this. Honestly, I'm not gonna display the stove. I'm gonna keep it in the box because I don't really have the space for his whole campsite scene, unfortunately. So next up we have his log, which you can use for scenery, I guess, a scenery accessory, or you can have him sit on it. But you know, you have a log, there you go. Apart from that, you have a skillet or frying pan, which is cooking some potatoes or carrots in radioactive waste, I guess. It does have some branding at the back, Death Gas Station. It does have a hole, so you could hang this on his bag if you want. Next up we have this very, very tiny spoon, which I will put into his box once I'm done with this review, because not only is it very small, it is very, very brittle. So I'm not gonna risk it. I'm just gonna store this away once I'm done. Yep. Next up we have his very janky radio here, which I really like. Again, nicely sculpted, nicely weathered, nicely painted, all that. It's a lot of effort, you know, doing all this just for one piece of accessory. And it's very consistent throughout his whole set. So there you go, his little radio thing. Then you get his lantern, which is also nicely sculpted, nicely painted. I'm just gonna repeat myself over and over again with these things. It does have a light there. And you can also hang this onto his bag. Yeah, there you go. Then we have his coffee pot or kettle. So it's very junky. I think this whole world of Death Gas Station is just like a very post-apocalyptic world with all this ruined items that's just hodgepodge together. You can see it's like stuck together with tape or whatever. It's very brittle, very worn. And you have his booze, I guess. I mean, he is a robot, so it kind of weirds me out that he drinks and eats. But there you go. Along with that, he does have another broken bottle piece. Oops. So I'm guessing this is for like self-defense. But he does come with a bottle piece to basically jab people with. Ooh. So next up we have his axe, I guess. We'll go take a look at that. It does have a hole here, if you could. I might thread a wire through it and have it hang on his bag. We'll see. But this is his axe. And it does come with an axe holster, I think, what you call these things. Now my first mistake was putting it over, which is not the way you're supposed to do it. Apparently you're supposed to thread it or put it in through like that. So you have to really put it nice and snug. And that's how it's supposed to look, basically. There you go. So you can see all the paintwork and all that. Okay, where are we at now? Let's look at his stick here. Now this is his walking stick. You can see it's all bandaged up, all wrapped up, all very nicely weathered. Again, I'm repeating myself. It does have a porthole in which you can port all these 3 accessories here. So you can port his socks here. So it looks like he's drying them. Even his socks are like decrepit as hell. So you could have it like he's drying his socks. So it could be like a flag, I guess. Ugh. Next up we have a piece of meat or steak. So you can have it over the stove or something. And then lastly, he has this, I guess, a dessert piece, basically. I don't really know what this is. If you guys know, let me know, but it looks like a dessert piece that you heat up, I guess. But there you go. These are the 3 accessories that goes onto his walking stick here. Ugh, what a mess. Okay, where are we at? Okay, let's look at his pipe. He does come with a pipe with smoke effect coming out. Now you port this in his chin, not through his mouth, which I'll show you. Well, I'll show you right now. Ta-da! So that's how he looks like. It's ported through his chin. His chin does have a hole, like a porthole there. So that's how it goes. Now he does have another port on his head, which is up here. You just have to remove this little plug. Oop. Right? And then you could stick this speech bubble that he comes with. So we have not home and end of the world. So you could stick the end of the world onto his head like this. And it's very scary because this is a very thin piece of plug, well, extension or whatever, which will snap if you're not careful. So that's how he looks like, with all the stuff plugged into him. Doo-doo. And finally we have his hands. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of hands. So we have his open hands for him to grasp things, or just a relaxed hand basically. So you could see he does have fingernails for a robot. So, you know, it begs the question whether these things are actually mechanical or organic. Because why would a machine have fingernails? Right? Am I wrong? Then we have his grippy hands, I guess. So this is, I think, for the bottle or whatever, like his kettle or his walking stick. So we have that option here. Again, same detail. Very consistent paintwork, very consistent weathering throughout. Like, look at that. So we have that. Then I think these are his relaxed hands. Or it could be him holding the skillet, like he's frying something. It's really up to you what you want to do with these hands, but he has a lot of, you know, hand options. I think these look more relaxed than the other ones. You know, doesn't really look like he could grip anything with it. He could be asking for change, I guess, with these hands. Right? Oh god, and finally we have the pistol hands. I don't know, he's pointing a direction or something, or saying hi, or really up to you how you're gonna pose him with these things. So, but he does have like finger pistol hands. Pew, pew. And I think, is that it? No, it's not. There are a couple more things, but I need to change the angle of this camera, so bear with me. So the first big piece he has is his sleeping bag over here. Yeah, it's very nicely stitched together, and it's weathered as well. It's like a plastic material. It does have Velcro on each side, so you basically wrap it like this. And then, yeah, he's basically inside this little tube cloth thing. And that's how he sleeps. Doo-doo. And the other big piece is his tent, which is this huge piece of equipment. It does have some graphics, so it does have like how many days he's been homeless, or I don't know. It does have a small story to tell. Maybe some Easter eggs for the next figure. does have like a little poster as well. So I don't know how to construct this. The promo pictures look like this, right? But as you can see, there's an extra pole here. So I don't really know how to construct this, and I don't think I will, because I'm scared I might break it, honestly. So I'm just gonna put this back in the box. There's nothing really on the other side, but you know, there is a lot of weathering, which is also nice. You can see like the cold dog there. Because this isn't really a tent, like your traditional triangular tent. It's more like a piece of cloth, a piece of shelter, basically. But yeah, but at least you have this huge accessory that comes with them. And of course, they does come with this accessory bag, basically, where you could store all what he has into this bag, which I do not recommend. Just put it back in the box. There are different compartments for each individual accessory piece, so there's really no need to shove them all into a bag and where they get all broken, scratched up and all that. So just put it back in the box. You really don't need a plastic bag, but I don't know, you could use it for snacks, I guess. And he does come with I think this is a sticker, but I don't know what material this is. If you could tell, it has like this very weird, I don't know, papyrus type texture. But it does have the cold dog toy collection. You could see him panicking over the nuclear strike. There is a comic that comes with this, so I'll show you in a bit. But you could see Homeless Joe, Park Z. And you could see his IG handle if you guys want to follow him. So I'm gonna frame this along with the other cold dog stickers I have in my collection. And finally, we have the Death Gas Station comic. So this is number 6. So this is the 6th release. So it's a smoke pipe. I'm just gonna sift through this slowly if you guys want to read it. You can see this is the first release from Death Gas Station. This guy, I forgot what his name was. So obviously something did happen in this world, but you know, it's like they give little short stories for each character, but it gives you more questions and answers, basically. And this is the next release from Death Gas Station. I'll show you a picture here. I'm not really excited for this particular release because, I don't know, it just doesn't look like it's something I would collect. But then again, I'm probably gonna buy it next month, but that's how I go. So yeah, that's the comic, and that's, honestly to God, that's everything this figure comes with. So with that being said, let's stick all this shit onto Homeless Joe. And here's Homeless Joe with all of his accessories on him, basically. This took a while for me to do because of the buckles on his bag. It's not really these straps on his bags. They are not the same size as the whole of the buckle, so I really had to force it out and then force it back in, so that took a long time for me to do. But as you can see, I tried to load him up with his kettle, axe, lantern, radio, and his little skillet there. So for the most part, all of his accessories are on him. I even managed to put the hat on his head with the speech bubble. And this is how my Homeless Joe will be displayed in my collection. Yeah. I also put the stove and the smokestack just to show you guys how that thing will look assembled. So with that being said, let's take a closer gander at this old robot man thing. And here's a closer look at Homeless Joe, and you can see basically his face is very nicely made, sculpted, and the speech bubble does plug into his head, although it's a bit loose for my liking. Then you have his pipe that plugs into his cheek there. There is a plug point for it, but be careful, you know, that stem is pretty brittle. His canteen just hanging around his neck, his walking stick, booze. I managed to have his hat and the speech bubble at the same time, although it does look a little weird. He is back heavy because I basically loaded his bag with all the stuff, but because he has a walking stick, he kind of gets a little stabilization. So this is his backpack, which I loaded up with his what do you call that? Pot? Then you have his axe here, his lantern and his radio and his skillet, which I managed to attach by unfastening it. These things can unfasten, but it takes a while to do it because the material or the strap here is actually bigger than the holes on those buckles, so that was a bitch to do. Some more close-ups here of his boots or shoes, his dad's shorts. Then yeah, his jacket does have the end on it with a volcano, I think. So yeah, this is the Homeless Joe from DAMTOYS and Cold Dog. So with that being said, let's see where he fits in my DAMTOYS collection. And this is where I'll stick Homeless Joe with his other Daft gas station friends over here, which I managed to find and buy and waste money on. The only character I'm missing is the first release one, which is proving to be a real bitch to find and super expensive whenever I do. Also managed to frame his little weird sticker thing here. So yeah, that concludes my humble review over this old bot junk guy thing. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. And as always, go get him.